had a lot of rain that night. We had 150 millimeters of rain in just a few hours. And the brook was pretty high at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was called to go to work. As soon as I went outside, I can hear something different than from years ago. Water is moving very fast. It wasn't moving like it used to be. At this time, it was moving fast. So that tells me that there have been a lot of water up in the country that's pushing down through the river. And at that particular time, the water was about maybe a foot from the top. And when they started telling me that the manhole covers were gone, washed off, and the whole frame is gone, and the sewer lines are filled full of rock, that tells me that there's a lot of pressure in the ground pushing up. Now, if you went up that river, you would see slate area. It's all slate. Well, that slate comes down all along that brook. When water's on that slate, well, it's just the same thing. If you got water here and the ice on top, it will float it. And that's what it done. Then there was oil tanks coming down in the backyard, oil and wood. And the sewage come up through, because she busted every sewer line down there. And not only that, she busted an awful lot of water lines down there.
Once we knew we had everyone out of the area, I mean, when you saw some of the stuff washing down the brook and, in the water net, like dog houses and the stuff like that, and I mean, one particular garage and a house coming off its foundation, I mean, the float out in the middle of the road, you mean, you know, a lot of people were going to have, I mean, a problem. I mean, that this was going to hit them big time emotionally. And when something like this happens in a small community, I mean, the community pulls together more than if it happened in the, I mean, a much larger city type thing. I mean, the personal connection is there. You know the people, and to a big degree, you know the history of their family. You've known them so long. So, I mean, the small community knitness, that certainly brings people out to support people that are going through something like this. There's no question about it. I mean, there was some economic spin-off from it, because first of all, I mean, the area had to be cleaned up. I mean, there was I mean, 103 structures involved in the flood which did not go back there, which had to be removed. So I mean, there was a fair piece of work just to clean up the area, remove those structures. I mean, you had to do an environmental assessment on each and every home that, before it was demolished, and then you had a very rigid process you had to go through to demolish that home and to haul the waste. Although they received a good compensation package, money can replace a home. Money can replace the vehicle and stuff, but when the little things that Johnny or Mary made for the Christmas tree when they were in kindergarten or grade 1 or grade 2 in craft class, and that is washed away, that's priceless. You can't replace it. So you mean, there was a whole lot of emotional, trying times for the people that were actually involved in the flood.
So everything we had is gone, you know. Now you got the biggest, I don't know what to do. And that's what it's like. When they come and told us that we had to move, now you imagine 123 families looking for apartments here in Stephenville and on the base. I always call it Stephenville on the base because I'm so used to it. And now, boy, I tell you, you had to do some scrambling and in a hurry and fast as you can to get apartments so you can have your family into it. All of my neighbors that was around me, they were there since I was 2 years old. And for 49 years, I grew up with all their children and all them, but they were still alive. And when it happened, buddy, I tell you, there was a lot of sad faces, especially when this thing happened like it did, and the government tried their best to relax and try to explain what was going to happen, and oh man, I tell you, it was hard.
We were very, very fortunate, thank the good Lord, that no one lost their life and no one was seriously injured. We said there's going to be the engineers are going to tell us where the safety line is too. So that if this ever happens in the future, there should be no concern for human life or injury, and no structures would go back inside of it. So the people said, well, what's going to happen to all the land? I said, well, we will turn it into a park. It took a number of years to get all of the legal paperwork straightened out. So once we got that done, well, then we started the park, and the Branch Brook Park Committee, in partnership with the town, basically developed what the parks is today. And each year now we do a little bit more to it. It's very, very well used by our residents, and I mean, it's a leisure thing.